extra large, big ticket, premium. About that time you believe in me. Yeah, I'ma lay it down, grabbing that crown. Lay dollars on the ground, gonna double up now. 65, 4, 3, 2, one more time. Heavy punchline about to groove. Lay low, lay high, lay low, lay high. Clear your heads now, watch them peek. Let me go and prove my worth, let me earn it. Gonna pass this test and get me a permit. Watch how I do, sit down, observe it. Fires in my soul, uncontrollable burn. Look at me then, look at me now. Correct your bones to rule cool, make you bow now. Class and land to a point to see. Blow kiss goodbye while they scream and shriek. Let it go, let it out, let it go, let it out. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Lay low, lay high, lay low, lay high. If you feel my vibes, then pop with me. Let it go, let it out, let it go, let it out. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath.
Wow.
Amazing.
Amazing. Another episode of the Social Links podcast on to rank 9.
I can't believe it's already ranked 9. It's gone by so fast, hasn't it, Screen?
It really has. You know,
Next time we're gonna be ranked 10. It's gonna be like we're going to be at rank 10. We're gonna be at max rank, and then we'll keep on going after that. Isn't that crazy to think about, Screen?
it's going to be pretty cool.
100 episodes.
100?
episodes of Social Links.
Is that like the end, though? Is that when it all ends? Hold on, people are saying
I
your
don't
voice
know.
is low. Fuck. It's probably because my mic is closer. I'll fix this. You keep talking. Go.
But I love Social Links.
No, say
podcast.
something
I'm a
fucking
big fan.
substantive while I change this.
Okay, fine. All right. So P5X. Screen. You're a big fan, no?
Nope.
You love P5X, don't you?
Nope.
Everyone loves P5X,
Nope.
including me. I love Persona 5 The Phantom X.
No, we don't.
And recently, no, we don't. But recently, despite both of our distaste for it, recently Atlas has been pushing very heavily with probably their most liked, I think their most liked tweet ever, P5X's global release.
It is. I think it's at over 100,000 likes. Yeah, it's their most liked tweet ever. It's bigger than when they ported the modern games to modern platforms. When they ported, or sorry, when they announced Persona 3 Reload. This has trumped the. I think it has double the ones that Reload has. Like the Reload announcement tweet has legitimately. Like it is a huge fucking announcement, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know why.
Yep, I don't know either. I have a few working theories. Generally, I think people don't know about P5X as much as they would know about like anything else from Atlas. They probably thought it was P6, but obviously, I mean, I think you have to be a little gullible to not look into it yourself a little bit.
I mean, it's a P5 like picture. Like it's clearly like in the P5 art style, the tweet. And I mean, just going into the replies or the quote tweets, you can instantly figure out that it's P5X. Do we think this little of the masses that they can't even figure out what game it's talking about based on basic context clues?
Trickster, the world is not as it should be. P5X got a global release.
It
I
did.
mean, I guess people just don't. They don't think. I guess I don't know. I feel like a lot of people who are thinking these things aren't even big Persona fans. They just like know P5 was like the big one, so they see a big post from Atlas. That's the Persona 5 guys, and it's like vague and shit. They're like, and they probably don't even know that Persona games are radically different between entries. They probably just thought it was P6.
Yeah, Discord thought it was P6, which is really weird. I don't know why that would be the case. I don't know why they would think that. And again, I don't know if it's just engagement, but I don't know anymore, okay? Society is fucked, okay? This is the best aging part of P5, okay? The masses really are ignorant, okay? I don't know if maybe it is just engagement bait, and that's why they're doing this, because it kind of worked to an extent. But like again, it should be very obvious this isn't P6 if you just click. This is obviously a P5 thing. Like if you know anything about P5, this is obviously a thing. And if you just like scroll down, like oh, we're going global. I mean, to be fair, there aren't too many things, but like, yeah, here we go. Like most likely the English release. There we go. We got somebody explaining it. We have this character from it. Like it should be pretty simple, pretty quickly, to be like, oh, okay, it's P5X. Yeah. So I don't know.
Oh, man, it's crazy to me. Like when like you realize you're in like a bubble, right? Like some people just really love Atlas only know of them as strictly the P5 guys. They really don't know anything else about them.
I get, but like, okay, but then that begs the question. P5R got ported to modern platforms. That was, I would say, a much bigger announcement than this, and that has less likes. I was sitting at less likes and retweets than this tweet right now.
No, it's just port. I mean, ports are huge, especially for Persona 5. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's on the same level as motion as people like would treat a P6 announcement, even though this isn't a P6 announcement, but people think it is. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I guess. Look, this is Reload's announcement. 43K, less than half of what P5X has, and then the ports were their second biggest tweet at 79K. Right. Yeah, a little crazy.
Man, that was almost 3 years ago now. Jesus Christ, that announcement.
Fuck.
Oh fuck, man. Oh God.
Yeah, but wait, before we get into the meat of this, actually, hold on. We do need to self-promo. Did you know your favorite podcast in the world, okay? Your favorite podcast still doesn't have a YouTube channel yet, but we do have an IMDb page, okay? And you can go on IMDb, and you have all and the episode guide. All the different episodes are here. You know, they have different thumbnails. I don't think they accepted the thumbnail for this one because it was like, I think one of the characters from P1 calling, saying like, "Oh, you're fat and ugly" or something. But the rest of them they accepted. All right, you can go and you can rate all your episodes. Give rate episode 7 to 10. You can give however you feel about anything. Okay, you can give the whole podcast a rating. Feel free. Okay, social links on IMDb.
And just a little helpful reminder to the uninitiated. We're also on Spotify. It's great. If you want to listen, you can listen on there. Every episode gets uploaded. Every episode's uploaded right now, and this one will be uploaded right after this.
And we have a Twitter. Might as well promo everything.
We do have a Twitter.
There's also a Twitter account.
Podcast Twitter. Yeah.
Great Twitter. I would say the best Twitter. I would say the Twitter of the biggest Persona Mega 10 podcast in the world.
Oh, of course. There's no competition.
Absolutely not. I mean, there's like no one I can even think of, surely.
No,
I bet you if we got like big guests on too, we'd be even bigger. Like even bigger somehow. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Especially because we've just started, so I'm impressed. I'm impressed that we're so big.
We've done
early. Like people can look at it and be like, well, maybe it's not as big as it should be, but it's only going to keep getting bigger, Especially as I continue to get bigger and the community starts to kind of get bigger and everything like that. Our podcast is going to the moon. Social links, really. Bet on social links is what I'm saying.
We're the saviors of the Persona community, I'd go so far as to say.
I'd say the only thing that could stop this is if one of us die.
I agree, actually. And even, you know what? I'd even go so far as to say this. I don't even think death could fully stop the motion of the social.
I kind of agree.
We're bigger than that at this point.
We are. Somebody else would take up the reins. Anyways,
Mantle, really.
Oh yeah, somebody mentioned this is rank 9. Is this our romance rank? How do I reverse the social link?
Oh man, this is like the cheesy dialogue kicks in too. Like, I'm already dating a girl. I have to be careful how I pick my words.
I'm gonna be careful right now. Okay.
I'm gonna be careful too.
I want you to fucking have a great day. And then get cancer. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
Anyways, today we're talking about P5X. Yeah, P5X. So we got into a very big announcement. Okay, somehow. Don't know why. But, okay, fine. It's big. People clearly, no matter how we feel about it, people clearly love it.
Sure.
What?
People absolutely adore it.
What is there to love in P5X?
So, if you want me to go through the positives, I have a few. Soundtrack is one. They brought Lin back and Ryoto Kazuka on a lot of it. He's great. Good music. I can't lie. He fucking nails the fucking P5 sound. You ever hear Ambitions and Visions? That shit's a fucking banger.
Great opening, yeah.
The other opening, Showstopper, I think it's called, Showstealer or some shit. That's also a banger. Like, It's just great. Battle themes like Shadow Loop. The other ones, they're good. Like, the soundtrack is clearly there. Lin kills it, and Ryoto Kazuka kills it. Beyond that,
well, hold on. There's like new characters and stuff, right? You like any of those?
There's some of those. Yeah, the designs they're okay.
There's some good ones in there.
The openings are like kind of lacking in substance, but they're well animated. I'd give them that. They're pretty well animated.
They are. They're actually really well animated, I would say. There's hold on, there's got to be more. There's Tycoon online Tycoon. That's the best part actually. Hold on, let's run it back. That actually is the best part of the game.
That is the best part. Yeah, I actually do.
I
Agree.
was
Online Tycoon is a godsend.
begging for Online Tycoon. I had a tweet that was like somewhat big of me saying like P5R should have used the network features to have Online Tycoon instead of whatever the fuck they actually did, right? And then they did it. All right, I'll give them this. I appreciate that quite a bit.
I do too. It's the best. It's the best part of the game for sure. Anything else?
There's girls.
Moreau, but the new Velvet attendant, she's like discount Elizabeth. She's cute though.
She is. There's gotta be something. I mean, come on.
I can come up with something. Hold on, give me a second. Joker, he's in the game. That's exclusive to PFX, right?
yeah. First time we're seeing this guy, right? Pretty cool. Pretty awesome.
Joker, I mean, I think he's exclusive design to this game. Great stuff. They killed it.
Hey, Makoto Yuki, he's not even from P5. So
Makoto
explain this,
Yuki.
liberal.
Well, yeah, you're right. Makoto Yuki, original character for Persona 5X. Good design. I can't lie. Good stuff. They nailed that. That was pretty good.
Okay, well, there is a story to the game, right?
Oh, that's true. There is a narrative.
And
I hear.
we can't really judge that one. I think because
I mean, it could be good. It could be bad. I have no fucking idea. I don't know Korean or Chinese.
Yeah, I think we kind of have to withhold judgment on that one. The game has a lot of defenders. The problem with that though is that like there are people who say once you hit like the third palace, the story gets really good actually. Because in the beginning, it's kind of just reminiscent of P5's story, but like an alternate universe version almost. But apparently it really starts to separate from it by the third palace. The problem is that opinion is going to be kind of skewed because right now the game is not very accessible because it's in Korean only. There's a English machine translation mod, but the amount of people you're going to get who are installing the Korean version of the game and then playing with the English translation mod are probably the people most likely to enjoy the game. So it's a little skewed currently, I would say, the opinions on the game from people who have played it. We are probably... I can't imagine we're the only people who don't like the game who have played it, but we're probably the minority in that case.
I'd say we are in the minority, yes.
I say that. I don't even know, though. It's hard to say. I don't know. Because also, who's talking about P5X who don't like the game? What's the backlog score, do we think, on this game right now? Well, take a guess.
Probably lower than 2.5.
Lower than 2.5. That's pretty harsh.
Backlog gains, you know?
It's at 2.8 currently. Okay, so like it looks like not that many people actually. Although to be fair, it kind of got one bombed here, but you know, okay, not the biggest. Majority 6 out of 10, not great. So I who knows, to be honest with you. But the point is, there's a lot of defenders. And I think you'll see these people on social media a lot.
So. Screen. We went over what we love about the game. I know a lot of things that we like.
Well, hold on. I can be a little bit more serious. There's the Tycoon stuff is honestly, I love the Tycoon stuff. I'll admit that.
I wasn't kidding. I was being dead serious. It's great. I love playing Tycoon.
As much as I don't like gacha games, gambling can be fun. Admittedly.
Yeah, I have to give it that.
I mean, you know, there's some stuff there. There is something alluring about getting your favorite anime girl or whatever in this game. There's also, have you seen, I'm sorry, you have the stream open, right? Have you seen some of these like absolute, I'm sorry, okay? I know it's a gacha game. But like some of these designs, like, all right, whatever, right? And then they have like the goon bait one.
I mean, yeah, like this, like a classic like gacha like swimsuit shit. Like I'm so numb to it at this point. I'm not even shocked, honestly.
Jesus Christ! I mean, look at the size of the God damn! I mean, Jesus Christ! I'm sorry. We're doing this. That's what we're doing in P5X.
I mean, it clearly works. I mean, I see that sound. That God damn! I mean, that is.
Well, I'm just in shock. I didn't think it was possible for them to be that. Never mind. But they're huge, okay? There's no way, okay?
Yeah, okay, we got that. We got, you know, gravitational pull. Yes.
The ones I like.
Goro Akechi is in
The
there.
ones I like, are like I thought Akechi was a cool addition just because I like Akechi. Makoto, they're collab with the P3R characters. Cool. We could probably assume post P4R, the P4 characters will come. You know, maybe one day we'll get P1 and 2 characters. Maybe.
Okay.
But oh shit.
Well,
sorry, I just made my mic way louder.
Do you think we've said everything we love about the game that we like?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but unfortunately, I think well, I guess we're gonna get into what we don't like, so I'll reserve that one. Soundtrack's decent, kind of fun to gamble.
Tycoon.
Tycoon, yeah, best one.
Oh, the 2D art they make for the game is cool. I like that.
It's alright. I mean, the character design. I'll say this actually. I don't like gacha games, and I've always thought it was weird that gacha games have some of the worst character designs I've seen in my entire life, when the point of gacha games is supposed to be that you're gambling for these characters, and a lot of the time it is based on design.
Yeah.
That being said, P5X, I don't have too many complaints. The character design is pretty decent. I wouldn't say quite mainline level, but like pretty good. I'm rocking with it, I would say. So there's that.
Okay. I like Wonder's design. He has probably one of the better ones.
Yeah, there's like some good ones for sure. Okay. Yeah, I've got nothing else positive I can say about this game.
All right, let's go into it. Okay, first thing. Polish. This game feels like it was made by a teenager in Scratch, okay? I'm sorry. There's such an apparent lack of polish in everything you do in PFX. It's like painfully noticeable, from like awkward animations to like bugged, like when you like press a button, like you have to press it like numerous times to actually get something to happen, or like you can be like different animations play in like wrong places. Music can like cut in and out sometimes, seemingly apparently. Performance issues for like no reason on the game.
I was gonna say on performance issues, while I have this game open to come back to every once in a while, there's a reason P5 didn't have this many fucking NPCs in the game at all times. Look how much of my GPU this shit is fucking eating up, okay? I had a 6700 XT. What the fuck? What the fuck is this? Oh. Like, it is, like, kind of throttle, especially while I have OBS open for the stream. It's a little fucked. If I go to an area with, like, no NPCs, it does get significantly better, but it's pretty fucked. That I don't know why it needs all that, but...
I agree. I don't know why. And it just, it's just the game doesn't look that good either. Like, if I'm being honest, like, it doesn't look good enough to justify the performance costs it has.
There's a very subtle art style difference from like the original P5. It does look a little more kind of cartoonish, a little more kind of like, you can tell when you look at the original P5 characters specifically in this art style. You can like tell there's like some sort of like kind of different stylization here. It does look a little more, I guess, anime or like cartoonish, for example. There's clearly like some sort of difference here.
I give it that. Like the P5, I think the P5 characters look better here than they do in P5, but that's about it. But those models are like PS3 era.
I guess so because the models are higher detail, but I do not like this art style as much, to be honest. Not too much of a. I do kind of like the characters looking a little less. I don't know if the term is cel shaded or like There's something about just the way they look here that I'm not the most fond on, but I don't think it's bad or anything.
I think Reload is a better art style for like the Persona characters.
Look at Kechi. He looks way too fucking happy to be here. Look how cute this guy looks. He's not supposed to look this cute.
He always looks this cute.
He's not supposed to be this cute. He's supposed to be cute and like a wow. This guy. He's cute in an ugly way. Does that make sense?
Fuck you. Akechi's always cute.
He's a cute guy, but like it's not he looks too fucking happy to be here. Where's the edge? Where's the fucking edge?
It's Prince Akechi. It's Prince Akechi.
No, he looks like this because of the style, okay? Even if he was smiling here, it's not... It's just... there's something that looks brighter and cheery about this art style in comparison.
Probably.
Look, even this guy. He's not even really smiling. He's got this pillager of Twilight behind him. He looks too... There's just something about it. I'm not crazy, okay? People can tell by looking at this. I think.
Sure thing, buddy. Sure thing.
Okay. Anyways, so yeah, there's that.
Gameplay. God, this game is like so fucking boring to play. Holy shit, they artificially inflate every value from health to damage taken to fucking like it is ridiculous. Everything can crit for whatever fucking reason. I don't know what the hell's up with that. Um they watered down the one more system for no apparent reason. What it does now is like you get a weakness, and instead of getting a regular turn where you're free to do whatever you want, you're like locked into this follow up thing where you or a party member can do a follow up attack, either on the same enemy or on another one that has a weakness that your party member specializes in. It's just so watered down and so boring. It takes out all the intrigue of the one more system. I don't know why they would design it like that. Truly, I unironically think the game would have been better if they ripped it exactly like how it was in P5. You know, like with baton pass and like it's just fucking. It is such a boring fucking experience to play. Like I don't know. It's like it's just insane to me.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. I mean, I think the combat system, the damage numbers are very weird. They're very high in this game, but don't confuse that for it being any really very difficult or super in depth, because that's absolutely not the case. It does feel very. Like, I feel like if you get into most encounters, honestly, even if you don't, like, translate it, you just kind of mash the buttons, I feel like you're probably gonna make your way through, and it won't be a particularly fun way, like, fun along the way either. Like, I don't think you're really gonna feel much. I certainly don't. Yeah, it's just kind of like... It's such a simple combat system to the point where it's hard to really find much enjoyment in it. I almost would prefer if it was even more simplified so the battles would go by quicker.
I kind of get you. Unironically, it's just such a fucking. It's just annoying to play. I don't like it.
But you know what? You know what I think is worse than
What?
the combat gameplay? The palace gameplay.
Walk to the exclamation part, Andy. Holy fucking shit, man.
Just
It's so
even
bad.
looking past the fact that mechanically this game just does not feel nor have the same the mechanical level of P5. I'm not gonna ride home, oh my god, it's so in depth in the palaces or whatever, but you can tell there's certainly something there in comparison to this game when you just feel how it feels to move around palaces, or the fact that you really don't have to take cover at all in this game, or anything like that. Like the whole stealth part of the Phantom Thieves is just completely eradicated here, and it doesn't feel good to move around for starters. Just mechanically, it's just not very smooth. Even ambushing enemies, there's no longer jumping on their back and shit. You just kind of mash right click and you just kind of hit them with the dagger, and it's like, okay, and the animation does not look smooth. It's just, yeah.
To be fair, you can go behind cover and get the same ambush animation, but it looks way shittier. And there's also this like weird. This is a really particular thing, but there's a weird like big lag spike that happens before battles, like where you'd think it'd be loading, but like when P5, but it like takes so much longer than you'd think it should. You know?
Yeah, I don't know why either, but I know what you're talking about. There is like, I don't know if I call it a lag spike, but like it's basically like a loading thing. Like you're sitting there kind of waiting for the battle to start. Yeah.
But it looks unnatural, like it's about to crash or something. It doesn't look like it's supposed to be like that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just the way the game works. I don't know. It clearly is the way the game's supposed to work, considering the fact that it happens every single time.
Yeah, it's like a fucking hobbled together Persona 5 in like every way, from polish to like game to like, I just fuck, I hate P5X. Holy shit, it's such an annoying fucking game to play.
The biggest problem with the palace gameplay to me is that the original game's palaces I thought were intriguing because one, they had interesting aesthetics and designs to them. Maybe this game has that too, though, because I don't know the story that well. But it doesn't look like it's
pure like. You mean like pure aesthetics? Like aesthetics? Like I've done the first 3 palaces. They look really bland to me. I don't know. Like none of them have any sort of flair going on. Like the first 2 are kind of like offshoots of like what P5 does, and that's fine. Whatever, sure. I mean, the first 2 just feels like a less interesting Kamoshida and Madarame visually, and the third one's kind of original, but even so, it's original doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
It just looks.
I did the like, first 2.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty much how I feel. I mean, like, even just in the imagery, I think I have, coincidentally, this clip-on thing. I think he's a baseball player, the first palace ruler, right? So they kind of use baseballs and stuff a lot, but, I mean, if we just compare it to the first palace of P5, P5 had some very good imagery of this palace.
I agree.
In the Kamoshida's palace. It is, yeah. I mean, there's literally, I think you're, like, literally, you have to climb on top of, like, I don't know how to put it, high school volleyball asses. Like it's unhinged, right? But it's a very strong visual to get the point across.
Like, what about these palaces? Can you recall like that? That's memorable. Nothing. There's fucking nothing that's memorable like that in these palaces.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hinge it a little bit just because I guess we don't know the story that well, but like it does just
Sure.
feel less. Yeah, I can't. I don't know. Why is there a vending machine?
But I
in the
feel like
palace?
even if I couldn't understand the story of Persona 5, I'd feel the fucking like imagery in Kamoshida's palace, you know?
Sure, that is probably true actually. Um, but just from a so ignoring the design standpoint, anyways, from a gameplay standpoint of like P5 was interesting because it kind of had this nice balance between combat and palace gameplay. Now, while I think this game one does not strike a good enough balance, I think there's much more in the palaces. You're probably doing the actual quote unquote puzzles or whatever more than you're fighting, but that's not even the big issue. The actual whatever you'd call the puzzles in this game are absolutely brain dead. P5 had some pretty simple puzzles for the most part, but like they were nice to kind of like, you know, you take a break from combat and you'd kind of do this and most of the time they were decently fun. Puzzle, they'd relate to the story in some way, and then you'd go back and you'd be fighting until you get to the next one. This game is follow the exclamation mark simulator, like to a T.
I'm telling you, dude, straight up, I think IKEA has better dungeon design than fucking P5X. Actually insane. I've done more thinking. I've seen more pretty environments. I've had like just so much more involvement with what I'm doing than I'm doing fucking P5X. It's actually ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, like when I say this game is brain dead, I'm not just like assuming that I am like speaking from experience because it has gotten to the point where when I have played this game, I just have like a video on my other monitor and I am just mindlessly going and pressing space on all the exclamation marks. Kind of like this guy in the video is doing right now. And again, I just skipped to a random part in this video. I mean, that is the game. Like, that is the palace gameplay. That is the extent of it. There's no thinking involved. There's it just doesn't feel like there's anything that the player is doing besides monotonous tasks that are inflating your game time or making you give the game your play time, because that's how a gacha game is kind of set up. It's set up so you're either paying the money to gamble or you're giving up your play time by going through the game and getting those ambers or getting those you know, destiny cards or getting whatever. That's the way the game is. Yeah.
I remember this puzzle sucked. Look at this guy. He's like, I don't even think he's interacting with it like you're supposed to. He's just walking through the fucking damage.
Somebody brought up a decent point in chat. The exclamation point is only for the main story. If you're trying to 100% these dungeons, I guess there are like some hidden things that the game won't directly tell you about, but I think that almost speaks to the problem. That one, it's the extra content that you have to quote unquote think about, and from what I've played, the extra content is typically an extra chest that will give you some more ambers, or it's
more gamba.
Yeah, like an extra fight that'll give you like a card or whatever, and like that's like most of it. Now maybe there's more that I haven't seen, but like that seems to be what it is.
I'm gonna be honest. When you compare it like to P5, which is like the game, it's like P5R specifically, like will seeds. That's a good example of something secret that you have to find.
Well, by the way, sorry, this one
will seeds is fun.
On the clip on the thing right now. By the way, this is one of the gambling cards. Like you go through the palaces and you can get these sometimes. By the way, like that's how integrated it is with the gameplay.
They do. It's all about getting gamba.
But even when you're not getting these literally, you're still getting ambers and stuff to get towards that goal. So everything is kind of serving that gambling purpose, which I wouldn't honestly have that much of an issue with if I thought the means of getting there was at least fun. But yeah,
it's just tedious. Everything about P5X is a tedious.
Now people do tell me. And again, we haven't really judged the story. I think we'll reserve story judgment. We'll come back on social links when Global's out, and I'll play through the story. Maybe I'll do it on stream. We'll see. And I'll have my opinions on that then. But people say by the time you hit Palace 3, that the story gets better and that the Palace design gets better. Now I only played the first two, to be fair. You have played some of the third though.
Oh, yeah, I'm actually at the end of the third right now. It's not that good. Like, they try to get more inventive with the puzzles, but all it really does is means I have to walk to more exclamation points, it feels like.
Yeah.
That's just not good. It's just tedious. It's not fun. Like, nothing on the level of, like, Madarame, like, painting puzzles, or, God, what else? Like the Kaneshiro, like fucking like piggy bank ones, and that's literally grabbing a note and putting it inside a piggy bank, and even they're like putting the code in.
You have to do the algebra, you know. There's some basic algebra there, but yeah. And I think something it also kind of speaks, and we'll see when the story comes out. I think part of what made those interesting in the main game too was just how well they kind of integrated with the story. Like, say what you will about Persona 5's Palace Rose or whatever, but they all had like unique kind of different aesthetics. that you could kind of get behind, you want to explore. Like, these were conceptually just interesting dungeons. The bank, the
Yes.
pyramid, the Ark. Like, there were interesting ways that this related to their real world selves. That was the whole concept of the game, and I think it's part of what made the game so successful. I think it's like a very interesting concept. P4 kind of did the same thing, but one of the dungeons weren't as interesting. And P5 kind of took it to a different extent by giving you these very kind of bad people to explore and how they view certain things, like in a literal sense, like, oh, this is the school, this is Shibuya, this is whatever. That was like just an interesting concept, and it made all the palace exploration more interesting because of that. So, and I know this game takes, again, a similar kind of formula, but there is like a finesse to executing it, and I don't know. Maybe after I play the story, I'll be more fond of it. We'll see.
Yeah, I can see if the story is like really ultra kino, and I have to wait for English because again, I'm not going to trust a fucking machine translation to make a judgment on the story. I could see something maybe being more redeeming about the overall experience, but even so, it is a video game, and a video game as a medium requires to interact with some level of gameplay. And if the gameplay that you have to deal with to get to the story is not like, you can't just rate it based off its story. That's not fair. You have to engage it on all levels. Is what I'm saying. And in this level, it's fucking horrible. Gameplay, it's really bad.
Yeah, I mean, I just say like I understand that this is kind of par for the course for gacha games, I guess, and like it is basically like a battle against the player. Like, how can we, if they're not going to give us money, how much can we waste their time so they'll at least give us playtime, or they'll want to spend money or whatever. Like, it's almost like a fucking Death Note tier mind game, but the stakes are your PayPal account. But like,
yeah, of course.
The question then becomes, though, like, what is the point to playing that? What is like guiding my? Is it really just gambling for like anime characters? Is that like the big hook here? Like, holy shit, I've got to play this game, because I'm not really feeling it. I do admittedly log onto the game and do dailies and stuff, because there's clearly like something there with that gambling, and when they do these collabs, P3R and stuff, that is intriguing to me.
Engaging.
But
yes,
I don't think I honestly do it for anything other than the thrill of gambling, which is kind of sad.
Yes, I agree. Hence, at this point, I have a proposition for Blackwing Studio Screen.
Do you? Well, they're obviously watching Social Links, so.
Oh, of course, they always are. Everyone at Atlas is. We know this.
That's why I steal all our
ideas. Make the game a slot machine. Make the game a slot machine. Just ditch all the palaces. Ditch all that. You'll spend less money, and the game will be better. Fuck it.
Well, there's got to be some sort of risk-reward. I mean, like, gambling in a game like Counter-Strike, at least, like, the risk there is I'm giving up real money. In P5X, you can be giving up real money, or you could grind for the resources, but there's got to be something, to otherwise, if it's just gambling for free, if it's just a gambling simulator, I can hook up a casino simulator on my computer right now. It's not going to be very engaging. There's got to be something that I'm risking. In this case, it's my time.
Girl.
But there's got to be something to it. I just wish that the way I used my time was just more fun. Like, the reward...
Like, you're using Persona fucking 5 as a base. There's no way you couldn't do better.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess the standard for gachas is just so low, maybe. But, like, I don't see any reason these games can't be enjoyable, too. Except if they were more enjoyable, maybe people would pay money less.
But, like, the thing is, right? Like, look, I'm gonna make a comparison, okay? I've played a lot of time in certain gachas, like Honkai Star Rail, even CCC. Those games have so much more to offer just on the pure gameplay front that's, like, actually enjoyable than P5X does. I'm being honest. And they're still tedious. Gachas are always going to be tedious on some level. But it doesn't mean they can't have fucking parts of them that are actually fun.
I'm going to be honest
with
you.
Holy shit.
From the little bit of Zenless I played, I think the gameplay might be worse than P5X's, but...
No shot.
Well, yeah. Maybe.
I don't know, man. I think this gacha format is obviously going to like fuck the game in a certain way, obviously, because it's just kind of designed to be that way. Gachas are inherently predatory. I just feel like, I can at least, like, the stab of the sword, at least, put like a fucking put like some fucking numbing agent in me, before you do it, and make it at least a little bit more enjoyable. Like, it's just a fucking pain in the ass to play this game. I just don't see the appeal.
Yeah,
I
like,
play it obviously, but like I would never say I like the game because I don't. I play it because I like to gamble and I like the characters. So that, like they have the legacy characters. That's like what really brings me here. You know, like fucking like I played the game for Makoto Yuki. I grinded for him because I fucking like Persona 3. But like
I
that's
even
not P5X's win. You know. So,
I
yeah,
even
what's
would
up?
say the way it kind of fuck, I completely lost what I was gonna say. I just took a biggest L. It actually just got mind erased from me by Blackwing Studio. Oh no.
They're in our heads. Sometimes when you play the game.
It was like
You know,
about to say it and it left. Go ahead.
I have to give P5X this though. Better than Tsukiyomi. That's that going for it.
Oh, the recent Conoco game? Yeah, that was really bad.
Yeah.
That was pretty terrible. Yeah, this is probably better than that.
I think Tsukiyomi's the worst game I've played this year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's probably gonna win worst of the year. I don't know. Is there a worst game that came out this year? I can't imagine.
I don't think so.
God, Conoco is so washed. I'm sorry.
It's insane. Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Um,
But yeah, here I don't. I don't. I don't know if it's like would anybody care about this game if it wasn't P5 themed? I'm just wondering.
no, they wouldn't. They wouldn't put up with it. I don't think.
Like, I don't know what it is, but I guess I maybe never understood the
okay, hold
appeal of
on.
Gotcha. Yeah.
There's another gacha came out earlier this year. Tribe 9. Tribe 9's like pretty good. Like I played Tribe 9. Like I'm not a whole lot of it, but I played a bit of it. It got EOS like recently. Like it's gonna fucking end before the end of this year. But the little bit it had, way better than P5X. I'm sorry, on gameplay, on like the story was actually like okay, story I can't speak on.
Yeah,
But
that game
the
EOS
gameplay was,
within like
actually
3
pretty
months.
good. It's crazy because I think that was significantly better than PFX, and that's an original IP.
Do you think maybe because it was less predatory, it's making less money? I don't know if it was less predatory, but if it was,
Maybe. I mean, I think it was probably on about as predatory as PFX, but
okay.
the difference is like the actual gameplay was more engaging. And like since it was an original IP, they didn't get to like ride on the coattails of a game that's significantly better. You know.
That is true. It's probably hard to make an original gotcha.
It is.
I guess that's why so many of them fall to like incredibly, I'm talking incredibly huge-breasted anime female characters. Okay, I don't. Some of them are actually like this looks unhealthy. Like
It is.
it is pretty crazy to me. But I guess the fact that this game hasn't fallen to that too hard is kind of nice. It can kind of use the fact that it builds off P5 to not need to fall to things like that, but
Pander is hard, sure.
I just wish, like, I legitimately wish there are gacha games that that have like good gameplay, like Limbus Company, which I think spinned off of Lobotomy Corporation, was like that's like a gacha game with like real ass fucking, like it's like a real ass fucking game, to be honest. Like it's like it plays like an original fucking game. It has like a combat loop that people enjoy. Like that is like a game, and I guess maybe it doesn't bring in the revenue a game like this does, because maybe not having the tedious gameplay does make people less inclined to spend. I actually would be surprised if that wasn't the case, and that's probably why they do go for this kind of not very enjoyable, go to the exclamation mark, get your fucking ambers, fuck you, we hate you, we want you to know we hate you.
And you're gonna give us money too, you little fucking bitch. Like,
but like, it doesn't have to be like the only reason it is like this is because of greed. And like we can say, oh, well, it's a gacha game. The point is to make money. The point of any video game is to make money. But we still shit on P3R for its fucking shitty. We still shit for shitty DLC policy, right? We still shit on games that are day one DLC'd up the ass, microtransactions, Watch Dogs Legion, Ubisoft ass fucking shit. I don't care that this industry that they picked is one that is filled with dog shit, and because maybe it's slightly less dog shit than some of the others, I don't care enough to defend it because of that. I don't like. I still need. There are a trillion fucking games on this planet. There are only going to be more. The industry is only getting bigger. Why the fuck should I play this? Besides the fact that I just am a Atlas shill and I love Persona, is that like the only reason? And maybe it's working.
Honestly, pretty much the only reason.
Because it has 100K likes. So Maybe that really is, and maybe that's really the only reason they need. So hey, fair enough.
Oh, I didn't mention this. This game's UI is terrible. Jesus fucking Christ, it's so
I
bad.
do like the mobile-esque stuff on the screen, even in the PC version. That does make me laugh a little bit.
It's a nightmare. It's just a nightmare.
You
It's
like
a
all the
usability
exclamation marks
nightmare.
at the top of the screen too.
Oh God,
And
it's
that's
so.
you just follow the
It
exclamation mark.
homogenizes Persona 5's aesthetic and uses it for like this fucking bastardization. Like it's just disgusting. It's like a fucking incest baby. It looks gross. I just hate it.
Look, I'm not gonna say it goes against the themes of P5. People like to compare and say there was a whole palace in P5 about why this is bad, and they reference the Psyarch. But the Psyarch was more
It's about
talking about
the law system
the
and use casinos as a
prosecution, yeah,
vehicle.
and it just uses
Yeah,
kind of gambling as like
metaphor.
specifically a rigged casino at that as a
Yeah.
kind of allegory for that system. But I think within playing that and the fact that a casino, really rigged or not, is kind of looked down as kind of something that is like, this isn't like this isn't like a good thing. This like is bad and it's not good and it's predatory or whatever. If we were to just think about the reasons, ignoring any P5 things for it, but just think about the reasons why casinos might be bad, I think P5X hits a lot of those marks anyways. I mean, it's very predatory. It's got kind of those flashing lights and things you recognize to kind of bait you in. I don't know. It's got all those marks.
Yeah, it also ruined my relationship with my wife and child. That too, like most casinos do.
But again, I don't even
That's how
care.
it is.
I don't even give a fuck. If it wants to be predatory, I wouldn't even care if I liked the game. If I thought the game was fun,
Not good.
I could look past all of that.
It's just not good. It's like bad. Like in every way, it's just fucking a nightmare to play, man.
But it seems like a lot of these series, it seems like specifically Japanese series, though Western games have kind of done it in other ways, like GTA Online, for example. But it seems like almost every big Japanese IP seems to get like a gacha game at one point now. I mean, Final Fantasy has it. Apparently, somebody said in chat Xenoblade might have one. Um, you know, any fucking
Xenoblade doesn't
IP
have
you
a
can
gacha
basically
game.
think of. Okay,
Xenoblade
so
2 has a gacha system, but the game is not.
okay, I don't know. Somebody in my YouTube chat said something like that. I couldn't tell. I don't know anything about Xenoblade. Um,
You know.
but Fire Emblem has its own.
True, Fire Emblem Heroes.
Any fucking. It seems like so many of these, specifically that have characters that people that are beloved. They will kind of try to take advantage of that as much as they can. And that's not even kind of games that kind of collab, or there's IPs that collab with existing gacha games as well. I don't know.
Also, the all-out attack screens, they look okay, but a lot of the original ones, especially, like, they look so, like, bland comparison, like, the actual ones
You
from
think
P5,
so?
you
I
know?
think they're actually pretty decent. We can pull up.
I don't mean art. I don't mean, like, from, like, a drawing quality. The drawing quality is something. I just mean, like, their actual, like, composition and shit, like, what's happening in the all-out attack thing. It's, like, so generic.
I don't know if I agree actually.
Really?
Here's like a compilation of a few of them. Alright, Wonders is pretty boring, admittedly. This one maybe plays into the baseball thing a little more, but once you start getting into like kind of the later ones and you see the like this is a pretty cool one. These aren't bad. Like I will admit they have not experimented at all. Like you can look at all these and clearly tell they are all like being done the same. Like character at the right, kind of have this whatever design to let. Like we could experiment a little bit more. Why not get kind of weird with the AOAs? P3R's AOAs look different than P5's. Why not? Once we've introduced 400 fucking characters in this game, why not start experimenting a little bit more in your own way? But I mean, besides that, I mean, I wouldn't say these are bad AOAs. I think they're not bad. Some better than others. I
Really?
mean, the summer ones, I don't fucking know, but yeah, I mean, these are fun. I don't know anything about these characters really, but they seemed fine.
I'm glad someone likes them. I don't dislike them per se. I just don't think they're great.
Again, some are better than others. Like Game Over is a pretty easy one to do for like this, gamer
But you at least
archetype
feel like these
character.
are all, like-
Well, like something like this Plague Doctor guy over here. Now you are free. I could see this being like the main game.
Really? No
Yeah,
fucking way.
this
I
is
can't,
pretty
dude.
like decent. Like, I would say it reminds me of Black
Seriously?
Mask of Catches, but Catches is obviously better because it has this big old
Black Man's Catcher is like the best fucking all-out attack screen in the game.
it has this kind of like nice design to go with it. This nice little drawing here, with the justice thing. I think is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, like
but
that
like,
one's hard.
I'll admit it's a little more simple, but I mean, I don't know if they're the worst thing in the world. I don't think I hate them too much. Look, this one's in Chinese too for the Chinese New Year thing. That's cool.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think they're all too bad.
I don't think they're horrible, but I don't think they're good. No, like they're boring. That's what I think, anyways.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I think on a production standpoint, there are some things about P5X that are good. Like we said, the openings I think are very strong. The little collab animation they did for P3R, I mean, it looked comparable to the quality of the P3R opening. It was very, very well animated. This clearly had money and time put into it. So there are some things on the production side that they get right. However, I feel like for a gacha game like this, the production side is probably maybe the most important thing. Because that's kind of how you get people into the game. But yeah, I thought this was. I think there are things to like about P5X from a aesthetic standpoint sometimes when it comes to things like this. But is it enough to play the game? I mean, I have this opinion. And I feel like there's so much shit to do now. There's like in the world. And like it does feel like advertising is just like a very important thing. I guess it always was, but like now it really is important. Like as long as you could just let somebody know something exists, they're like, yeah, fuck it. Why not spend time doing this? Fuck it. Why not? Right? Like, yeah, I like Persona already. Like it's probably easier for a Persona fan to get into something like this than it is a game that might be adjacent or targeting a similar audience. For example, like I think it might be easier to get a Persona fan to play P5X than it would to get them to play Nier Automata or Yakuza or Danganronpa or something, just because of the fact that this is Persona. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So the marketing works, I guess. It seems like it. Seems like it's successful. That tweet getting 100K is insane to me. I will not get over this.
If P6 doesn't get like 200 fucking K likes, I'm gonna be fucking mad, okay?
Surely. Oh, God, please. I hope so.
It better. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. God. Oh, man. I mean, hey, we got P4R on the horizon. It's like really close.
P4R. I am much more excited for that than I am for Global P5X. Believe it or not.
That's crazy. I would not have expected that from you. I wouldn't.
Wow. Yeah, I know. Well, I'm a pretty outspoken P5X fan. But when it comes to P4R, I mean, we've talked about our expectations so much on this podcast. I don't think we have to rehash all of that. But very soon, June 8th, do you think we're going to postpone social links to do it like the day that the stuff happens so we can right after it happens talk about it, you think? Like no.
Great idea.
Cuz the next social links episode should be on the 6th of June, but the showcase is on the 8th.
Yeah.
We could delay it and just do it on the 8th. You know, just to ride right off and kind of do like an immediate analysis. I'll probably upload it to my YouTube channel. Fuck it. That's good shit. People want to know, right? An analysis, a rundown of everything that we've seen. Yeah, that would be cool.
Besides P5X, I've recently been playing another game with the 5 in the title. I'm playing SMT5, Vengeance.
Wow.
I'm like a good ways through now. I like it. It's actually really good. Who would have thought, mainline SMT game being good? That's crazy. It
is very good. It's a very good game. It's actually my second favorite Atlas title currently.
That's crazy to me. I mean, I like it. I really like it. I really, really like P5X. But, sorry.
Oh my God! Clip it!
No,
clip it!
It comes out.
Let them know at IncompetentC exposed.
Truth comes out. What a Freudian slip. That's what I meant to say. I would like SMT5 Vengeance, but I don't think it's better than Metaphor or Reload so far. But it's good. I like it a lot. It plays
mean,
fire very well. It's like the best thing it has going for it.
I like
Plays
Metaphor
great.
Reload a lot too, but Vengeance, there is something they like put crack in that game. That is like an addicting fucking get. Um, that being said, I
I
mean,
feel
I
you on
think
that.
pretty much every 2024 release by Atlas, besides Episode I guess, was really solid. So 2024 Atlas cooked.
They did.
But yeah, Vengeance is a great game. Where are you right now in the game?
I'm at the fight where you have to deal with all the conditions at once. That's where I'm stuck on right now. That's like midway through the game, I think. I've been told.
Yeah, probably maybe a little bit more. Yeah, I mean,
Fight.
and the I think there's something about Vengeance that's just like when I listen to that soundtrack and I am playing that game, like there is like a feeling that fucking comes out of me. I mean, like 42, 43 battle themes or whatever the fuck that game has is insane, but that level of care and kind of depth in the gameplay to the soundtrack to even the way I really like those kind of open environments the game has. They're just very fun to explore, even if the scenery can sometimes be a little repetitive. Like they're just very like I just like how open ended it is and seeing all the demons on the
Collecting Me Man's fun.
on the board.
Like
Yeah,
on
I
that.
collected all the demons in the game. It was tons of fucking fun. So that's just a very fucking fun game to play. Like just everything it does is very good. The story is probably my least favorite out of like the major things, but like it's still like a good story. The
I
gameplay
really
is like
like
the big appeal.
soundtrack is like a highlight of
The
that game for
soundtrack is
sure.
amazing.
Goddamn.
I like again one of the best Atlas OSTs is what like it. If you have not heard specifically the Vengeance Part 2, the vanilla game's soundtrack is good, but the tracks that Vengeance added to that fucking game are absolutely insane.
I think it's pretty clear to say. I think that Avengers is probably the most substantial re-release of series like the Atlas has ever put out, right? Do we think?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, before that, it was probably P5R. And the Monarchy arc is so fucking in depth that it might as well be its own fucking game. But, like,
True.
now, like, there is so. There, like, it was just such a overhaul, Vengeance, to the main game that it has to be, I think, like, the most expansive by far. Yeah.
So good, dude. I love Vengeance. God, I mean, like fucking Battle Dot Vengeance in particular, like that is a fucking. That's how you remix a song, dude. That shit's fire.
It is really good. Fuck, that is
I
a
like how
really
like,
good game.
it especially like if you've like used to the original battle theme when you hear like that remixed one for the first time, it's like it feels like it purposely like kind of toys with your perception
The
of
new
the song.
guitar, the everything. It's fucking
It's
god,
so
it's so
fucking
good.
man. Ugh. And bass SMT5, fucking Battle Seeker is actually one of my favorite battle themes in Atlas history. Like this shit fucking slaps, dude. Like the super energetic guitar, like fuck. SMT5 in general already had a good soundtrack, and Vengeance just fucking adds to it. Gosh.
Yeah.
LP6 has like a million battle themes.
I even like, and I kind of, if they can do this much for thing, I'm curious where Persona will go, even if they are different teams. There is like the cutscene direction in Vengeance too. There's like a lot of like in-game cutscenes in this game, and like the way they're directed and shit, it's very, very fucking cool. I've honestly
yeah.
much preferred the story being told like this to something like Persona. Now, I understand Persona has a lot more to get through. It's a much more story-oriented game. So it kind of has to be almost like a visual novel type storytelling, but there's still a lot of story in Vengeance, and the fact that they were like able to do these cutscenes for like most of them, pretty fucking crazy.
I can't lie. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
I think that game is amazing cutscene direction. Like one that comes to mind in particular is when spoilers, when you get introduced to Mastema, that cutscene is like greatly shot. Like I love the way that shit looks. Like they have a shot of him like coming down from like the heavens almost. It looks fucking great, gorgeous. Like it's just great, good stuff. P6 will probably look just as good, I think, though. As far as that, I think they'll find ways because P5R like has really good cutscene direction. Like even for like the more VN-esque like talky cutscenes, like even those have really good direction. in P5R.
I hope so, because Vengeance is like, I adored playing this game. It has such just an aesthetic and such a gameplay. Like I would like play this game over again if I didn't have a million other Atlas games to play. Like, it is such a fucking fun game.
We'll beat it soon. I'll beat it soon.
It's everything I think a gameplay oriented Megaten game like this should just be. Yeah, it's just such a good fucking game. I don't know what to say. Yeah, really fun. Collecting Demons is awesome.
What have you been playing, Screen? About Atlas? I've heard through the grapevine you've been playing.
I don't want to talk about what I've been playing. I don't want to.
Are you sure, Screen?
I
hear you really like it. Aren't you a super big fan?
You're gonna make me do this? You're gonna sit here and talk about this fucking piece of shit? You're gonna make me do it?
I tell you, I think you love it. Come on, you love what you've been playing recently.
I wish it was this guy. I wish it was Vengeance.
For the uninitiated, he's been playing The Answer on PS2, and he loves it. Don't you, Screen?
I love it like I love a bullet through the skull, killing me instantly. Actually, no, I wish it would kill me instantly. That would actually be preferable to The Answer, which wastes my fucking time for hours on end, and never gets good. And it's not, I fucking hate, okay. We'll back up, okay? I played Reload's version of The Answer, obviously. I played, Episode I guess. I don't like it. I don't like Episode I guess. Speaking, okay, we're gonna relate this back to P5X, okay? If P5X is a game that you slog through so you can gamble, The Answer is something that you slog through to get to the most fucking 7 out of 10 story on the planet that is spoon-fed to you at the slowest fucking rate possible to get across a message that wasn't even that, I don't even care. It wasn't even that important to get across when the main game had such a good ending and such good messaging, okay? Fuck The Answer, okay? It is such a waste of time. I hate it so much.
Still plays better than P5X, though.
I guess. I mean, if I had to play through one, maybe. I don't even know if that's true, though.
10 times over.
Like, The Answer will probably take me longer because P5X is just brain dead easy. I might slip out of my body while playing P5X because it's just so like a nothing experience. But what do you want me to say? It's bad. It's not good.
I played P1 recently, Screen. How about that? You want a chance to...
Well, hold on. We'll talk about The Answer. If you're gonna bring me up and bring me through this torture onto the podcast now and humiliate me publicly, you might as well talk about it. You've never beat either version of The Answer, Reloads or FESs, have you?
I've played a good chunk of both, but nope, I haven't finished.
You shouldn't. It's not good.
I did more of Episode I guess on Reload though.
Episode I guess
that much.
Is my preferred version of the game only because I prefer Reload's gameplay, and I do think there were some choices made in Reload's version, like there are some new areas. There's one that's kind of almost robotic or whatever, and that's a very nice kind of
I like the cathedral one.
It's a nice bit unlike how kind of I always, there's like faces, robotic faces and stuff. I almost kind of interpret it as almost like a reflection of Aegis in a way, which is what Episode Aegis is all about. So that was like cool. Which one's the cathedral? Is that the stained glass one?
Yes, the stained glass one. That's what I meant.
I think that might be iterating on something from the original. At least it looks similar to, I think it's Empyrean from the original. But yeah, it definitely looks nicer in Reload. Like, I think they did a very good job recreating the areas and making the new ones. The cutscene direction's weaker in Reload. Actually, it's very much weaker. I saw the cutscene after you defeat Shadow Makoto in FES The Answer, and I was like, yeah, this is definitely significantly better than the Reload version. But most aesthetic things I think are done better in Reload, and then I like the gameplay certainly more in Reload. But it still can't save The Answer. It's a shame, because Episode I guess and The Answer probably have my favorite boss design in both versions of the game. But it cannot make up for how much I do not care to get through it. Like, it is just, like, so sluggy. It is basically doing Tartarus again. But this time, where Tartarus I like Tartarus and Reload, but, like, remember, in Tartarus,
Well,
you're
I'm a
going
fuck.
in.
I like Earth and FES as
You're
well. But
you're doing some mini bosses, right? And then you're leaving. You're doing like the main game and stuff. No social links in this one, which is a big thing that helped P3's pacing. Despite P3 still having weak pacing, you have social links, you have social sim, you have all. Answer has none of this, so all that's out the window. Reload tried a little bit to help, but with dorm hangouts added in Reload, but it didn't really change that much. So you're missing all that. So it's literally just gameplay, except for the little story segments in between, which are sometimes flashbacks from their past or whatever, and they're not particularly bad, but I can't find myself to care that much. I wouldn't call any of them incredible character moments, or like, holy shit, I'm so glad we learned this moments. I don't even feel this way about the climax of the answer with the Coliseum fights and shit. People really like Yukari's characterization because of the kind of the grief she has. Oh yeah, there were some weird rewrites in Reload's episode, I guess, which were weird too, but I still prefer that version, I would say. But you know, Yukari's very...
like neuter the story like to like an understandable
I
degree?
think people are over exaggerating when they say that, especially when the most interesting part of episode, I guess, or the answer, to me has always been the story they are telling with I guess. It is always, and that was pretty much unchanged. That's definitely the most interesting thing. The ending, I don't know if I should say it, but you shouldn't play the answer anyways, so it's okay.
Just
With the reveal, the twist with Metis kind of being, I don't know how exactly you'd explain. Is it that it, I guess, almost splits herself into like multiple things in a way? Like it's almost like an extension of I guess in a physical manifestation in a way. Yeah. That's a very cool thing, admittedly, and it recontextualizes the way you view Metis. It recontextualizes the way you view even I guess throughout the story. That's like a cool thing. Yeah, not worth all the dog shit you can go through though. But besides that, the Yukari stuff, people really like her characterization because she's very creep-stricken over Makoto. She's kind of lashing out, but to me, it's like it is probably one of the least interesting ways of doing this idea to me. Like, there isn't really a huge conversation being done. I guess it kind of shows the way different people react to death, but like, okay, honestly, I think I preferred the ending, leaving it open-ended to how they reacted, because I can pretty much imagine kind of how all of them would feel in a way. I guess they took Yukari to a different extent, but like, I do not think it is really very thought-provoking anything in it or whatever. I guess it's an okay character moment for it. I mean, what, like, yeah, okay, she's struck over Makoto's death, and that's like
I mean, like, leaving it open-ended. I mean, like, I think there's some interesting things that can be done with the idea of exploring, like, because, like, the whole game
there
is
are, but the way they did it, I
on
don't think I
note,
care
and
that much.
Subverting that with the answer is kind of interesting in and of itself.
The only thing I thought was, like, truly out of the box, like, I didn't expect this, was Aegis's story, which is why I think it's the best part of it. Like, the Aegis stuff is like, yeah, okay, like, yeah, and turning her into, and kind of having the meta stuff to do, like, that's interesting. I couldn't have pictured that myself. That was a very interesting thing to do. Everything else, though, meh. You know? I wouldn't even say those Yukari character moments are nearly as powerful as, when you're talking to her on the beach, during that one scene. I think this is during the trip, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Or like when she watches the DVD or whatever, the video of her father or whatever. Those are much better character moments for Yukari, I think, that say a lot more about her than her being this grief-struck over Makoto and kind of lashing out. I don't even think the conflict or the fight is necessarily that interesting, especially when the climax of it pretty much starts and is resolved decently quickly. You kind of have this conflict throughout the entire game. Like, Yukari's clearly at odds with some of the cast and whatnot, specifically like Metis and Ike's and whatnot, but like, yeah, it's kind of just there for most of the game. Like, it doesn't really go anywhere different until that very end, and then when we get to the very end at the Coliseum, it starts and it's resolved pretty quickly, and I'm just, okay. To me, you can very much tell this was an extra addition to the game. Compare this to something like, I always say that the first good Persona expansion to me, because I don't like the Marie arc either, is the Maruki arc, and I feel like that really subverted everything we had learned from the main game, and presented, I would say, a even more interesting dilemma and question than anything in the main game. yeah, it's fucking no contacts. No,
And
no
it's interesting
contacts.
how like it's interesting like because like how Mario Kart presents like a massive dilemma, but none of the casts fight over it, huh? Isn't that curious? Like all the casts are basically completely in agreement. Like the moment they realize it.
Well,
What
yeah,
the
I mean,
reality
it's against kind of their values in a way, and he
Sure,
kind of tries to
yeah,
flip
they're
it on
kind
them
of,
and go, "Well, how are we so different?" And in a way, he's right, but in a way, he's wrong. And then there's that whole conflict. But yeah, I mean, you don't need like an internal conflict in the. Ironically, the internal conflict in the cast in P5 is the Okuma arc, which is certainly the worst in that game. I don't think that is explored very interestingly. Again, another concept, just like the answer conflict, that I thought could have been interesting, but it is just not done well at all. Now, I'm not going to say it's just poorly executed. Or sorry, I'm not going to say it's better than the answers conflict. Obviously, the Okuma arc was like a million missteps in a row. The Yukari stuff is certainly more interesting than that and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I don't particularly care for either of them. Yeah, I don't know, and especially when you consider from a gameplay perspective too. If we're gonna go back to the Marky stuff, that was basically its own game with like multiple different sections. The Akechi stuff at the beginning, and then you kind of go into the palace, and the palace is the most expansive palace in the game. I think it's the longest story arc in the game. There's like different set, and then when the thieves finally come back, like it almost all plays out. Obviously, you would need to know the characters to understand it, but like it is almost like its own game. Like it is that expansive versus Episode Aegis, which is 90% going through fucking the same layers of Tartarus, even in, or the Abyss of Time in this case, even in Episode Aegis, which added more layers, or like, you know, to different looking layers, it still feels just as repetitive, basically. I remember when we first played it, we had both commented on how it was different, right? And I remember I was like, oh, well, this is kind of like, okay, well, you know, I didn't want it to be a $30 DLC, but at least like the budget went somewhere or whatever. But it's ironic that by the end of the game, I was still like, I don't think this is worth it still. This was not like, this is just like, thanks a little bit for giving me something different to look at, but you're gonna continue to repeat it throughout the entire thing anyways. Yeah, I know. The Okuma arc is bad for Morgana.
For everyone. Bad for me.
By the end, it's fine for Morgana, but it shouldn't have been an arc for Morgana for starters, and the beginning conflict is not good for anybody. It's the ending bits that are maybe something, and I guess they kind of spawn from the conflict in a way, but the way the actual conflict itself is handled is pretty terrible. Yeah, basically, I fucking hate the answer. I could go on forever. There's even more reasons. It's a shame that my favorite boss design in both versions of the game has to be relegated to this. If I could, like, for example, like, mod the game or something to have the Abyss of Time bosses as the main game's Tartarus bosses, I think I would, because I find them more interesting.
Yeah.
But that is it. And then I think the ending of the meta stuff is good, but not worth going through this pile of fucking shit, because most of it is really bad. And I hate it. Yeah, that's what I've been playing through recently, and I don't like it. But now I have played every version of Persona 3, FES, well, I guess not vanilla, but fuck off. FES, Portable, and Reload. I've played both versions of the answer. And I like Persona 3 a lot. I like Persona 3 Reload the most. But I like all the versions of the game. Portable's okay. But I don't like the answer at all. I think the answer is fucking awful. In both. So
I'm playing P1.
You have. You only played a little bit, to be fair, but yeah, you did play some P1.
True. I beat a boss, and then I played a bit more than beyond that.
I believe it was a Sebek building boss.
Yes, it was. I beat this guy. I think his name was a fucking Take something. I don't remember. He was a fucking asshole.
One of Kandori's, minions.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, this is still the very beginning of the game. You're right. I think Sebek building, is it literally the second dungeon in the game?
Yeah, I think so, or third.
So. Do you like the? You had already finished this part by the time you had started again, but I think one of my favorite parts about the Sebek building is the way you do it. I'm gonna pull up a guide just so I get it completely accurate. But before I do, I think off the top of my head, I think it's like there's an elevator and you go to the top floor and then you walk back down the stairs and then you're in a different section with different stairs and you walk back up the stairs to the top and that's how you do the dungeon. It's fucking stupid to me, but whatever. I'll pull it up just to make sure I'm getting it entirely correct. That's my recollection of it, but I'm pretty sure I'm on point. Yeah, here it is from a P1 guide. Take the elevator and head to the 5th floor, right? then head to the southeast, take the stairs and return to the first floor, then take the stairs to the middle and go back up to the 5th floor. And whatever you think it is, it's like so quick and meaningless that like you can't even be like, oh shit, this is like a really cool maze or labyrinth or whatever, because it's not even that. Like it's just you have to play it to know. But like I'm pretty sure. Fuck, I don't know if I'm misremembering this part. I'm pretty sure all the stairs when you're going back up to the 5th floor are literally in the same spot too. I don't fully remember though, but it's just not very. I don't like this dungeon, but I don't like P1 either, to be fair. So
I haven't been liking it very much. It's either I think I know I'm at the very beginning, and the narrative exists. I guess the stuff with what's her name?
Maki.
Maki is intriguing.
I mean, she is by far the like central character of that game. I would say for sure. Yeah. It kind of is all around her. At least in Sebek route.
God, it's just not very good. It's better than SMTF. Can I give it that? I think it's so far better than SMTF.
I can imagine.
Beyond that, I don't really know what praise I have for it. I guess. Oh, I mean, I'm playing with the PSP version, so I don't have the PSX soundtrack. I like Lone Prayer and School Days. Those are pretty cool.
I don't like Lone Prayer very much. I'll admit School Days is a pretty good song though. I do like that. Even if I prefer the PSX OST overall for sure. But there are some good songs in the PSP soundtrack. I don't think it's as abysmal as some people would have you believe it is. The PSX is certainly better though. School Days is probably the highlight of it though.
Look
into my eyes.
I don't even know what else I could say I like about the game. I think it's not good so far. I really, if this was not part of the Persona series, I would not even think about continuing further. I really don't like it.
Did you like you got after Sebek building? I think there's you're introduced to a scientist or whatever, and he kind of tries to sacrifice himself to take out Kandori.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that moment? I think that's a decent moment in the game.
I like to give you a choice. I think that's pretty cool.
I think it does a good job of like kind of building this character literally within the same scene that they're gonna take him out, and then kind of doing a decent job at like making you feel something for him, and then that kind of makes Kandori more despicable by extension of it, just because somebody has now died to take him out, and it obviously does not work because believe it or not, he doesn't die at the beginning of the game.
Hateable.
Yeah, so
I wish.
That is like I think a good scene. Unfortunately, I don't really like most of P1's story, especially when there are entire arcs that are basically done just to get to other arcs. Even if things happen inside of them, like I understand there are big moments in Hollow Forest, but I would have preferred a more interesting setup than, hey, we have to go here to get a key to enter a different dungeon. Like, okay. And that's not the only example of it, from what I remember.
God, we've been so mean to Atlas today. I'm just not realizing. We've just been talking about things.
Yeah, somebody said at the beginning we should just rename this to the Atlas Hate Podcast. Guys, we really like Atlas games, but we talked about Vengeance for 3 seconds. You're like, this is a really good game. Then we move past it. But like, I don't know what there is to say about Vengeance.
This is really good. Vengeance is really good. It's really good. It plays well. I like the fucking press turn system. Press system. Let me say this: best turn-based combat system ever to fucking exist. Okay, I love press turn.
Yeah. Like, if you're a PlayStation player, I'm pretty sure there's an Atlas like PlayStation Store sale right now, and Vengeance is one of those games on sale. If you have not played Vengeance, it is like worth the. It is worth it. It is worth the time. It is an incredible game. You will feel pleased, I promise you. Especially if you can. Okay, play that game with headphones and just let the music blast through your fucking ears while you're fighting. Okay,
God, it'll hit you.
That shit is incredible.
Yeah, just like Vengeance is like a game. I don't think anyone who has any remote interest in Atlas games and turn-based RPGs will not like. Or sorry,
Simply Dead.
They'll have to. Okay, he's not a real fucking person. Anyone who has a brain who likes turn-based RPGs is going to like SMT5 Vengeance. Okay,
that guy's on the Epstein list. You heard that? I'm sorry, never mind. No, these memes are too. Okay. Sure though. But yeah, yeah, it's an incredible game, Vengeance. Yeah, I don't dispute this. Yeah.
Really for God, that game's fucking great too. Is that part of the sale as well? It is, right?
I think so.
Hey, I haven't picked the metaphor yet. Pick it up. That game is fucking phenomenal. Holy shit. Show Atlas you want to see more of that shit. And don't play P5X when it goes global. We'll play it because we're making the sacrifice. But don't play it because we don't want Atlas to make more of that. We want Atlas to make more actual fucking games.
We'll be part of the problem, but not you. You're not allowed,
We'll take the fall for
okay?
you. Well, that's on our conscience. That's our cross to bear. We'll hold the pain for you, okay? But you guys don't have to. Trust us on this, all right? Let P5X flop. We will tell you how bad it is on the global release. We'll tell you how shit the story is. I don't know if it's going to be good or bad. I don't know. But just spend your time actually playing the real fucking games Atlas puts out. Rhido's coming out soon, next month. The screen. We're both going to be playing that, talking about it, aren't we?
I was going to say, yeah, we should stop telling them to buy legacy games, actually. Hold on. Let's support this game that I said this in the last episode, and I still kind of hold it true. Unfortunately, I'm a little worried about how Rhido's going to do, just because I have not seen much buzz on social media about it past the initial announcement, and that is typically a worrying factor.
Yeah.
Especially after seeing that Atlas's account clearly can go the mile with engagement with P5X. I have a feeling the Rhino might not do super well, and I don't know what the budget for that game was like. I can't imagine it's super high, but I'm a little worried that might discourage Atlas from doing more things like this in the future. The reality is, guys, okay, and people complain about Persona fans always asking for back in the day, I guess, obviously now not so much, but
not really anymore.
them asking for ports and shit or whatever, but I mean, it wasn't just because of them that they did it. Like, Persona, it just has the appeal. It just sells well. I'm pretty sure I was looking at sales metrics from I think it was 2025. I don't remember. But like, with no Persona game being released or whatever, the series still sold like maybe it was 2024. But it sold like 5 million copies within like the span of a few months. Despite no like game release or whatever, just because people just want to play Persona. It's just a clearly just growing series, even without new releases, even without like all the marketing. It has the name brand, it has the value, it has everything Atlas could ever want. And if games like Rhino don't have that mass appeal, which I'm a little worried it might not,
yeah, I don't think it does either.
It might remain that way. I mean, people can blame Atlas all they want for focusing so hard on Persona in the modern era, but companies are going to go where the profit is. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Listen, if you personally, yes, you listening right now, you want to see things like DDS, fucking SMT 1 or 2, like any of those past entries that Atlas hasn't made successful, you need to fucking support Rhino. I'm sorry, that's the only way you're gonna see that shit happening. There's no reality Atlas is they need to gauge interest, and I feel like Rhino is a big test. And I don't think we're gonna see any more Devil Summoner stuff for a while if Rhino doesn't do well either, given Slackers 2 didn't perform well either. Yeah, I feel like Rhino needs to do well. I mean, I bought the game, but
speaking of sales metrics and whatnot and profit metrics, Persona 3 Reloads, I will complain about Persona fans a little bit now, okay? Sega states that Persona 3 Reload's downloadable content sales were substantial. I think we can even click through the article and read the full quote here. Our DLC sales plans for fiscal year 2026 quarter 3 conservative. DLC sales for Atlas's Persona 3 Reload were substantial in fiscal year 2025 quarter 3. We believe that our plan for fiscal year 2026 quarter 3 is based on the current situation. Basically saying fiscal year... It's saying that the sales are substantial. Yeah, what the headline said. I just wanted to read the quote, just so you know exactly what they said. But,
and
yeah.
They plan on selling more DLC later because of that, I think.
Oh, they also referenced strong DLC sales in their results presentation, without singling out any one title. So as much as people complain, including myself just did, about Episode Igus, apparently it sold very well. And I'll admit, I did buy it as well, so you can blame me too. But, yeah, it seems like Episode Igus was successful. Sega has been wanting to do these expansion passes for their games for, a while, and they're probably going to be doing it for the foreseeable future. You can bet your ass P4R will have one. I would be very shocked if it didn't. And especially with this selling very well, apparently, despite being probably the worst DLC Atlas has literally ever done. It is way overpriced. I think it's like...
Wait, the worst they've ever done?
I would say so. What's worse?
Slackers 2.
Is Slackers 2 DLC worse than this? How?
They add a quest, and it was a launch DLC.
I don't know if I can... I mean, so did Vengeance, to be fair. Vengeance has 2 DLC quests on launch. And I think base SMT5 did too. Like, I don't know what this price is in USD. I can check. In Canadian, it's $47. In USD, it's 35.
It's like 35. Yeah.
$35 for this. 3 waves. The first 2 were absolutely fucking worthless. P4G, BGM set, and P5R BGM, worth dog shit, right? And Velvet costume and BGM set, which is even more hilarious when you realize that they already had these Velvet assets from P5R anyways, because they have Velvet outfits in that game. So the only thing worth anything was Episode Igus, which I appreciate to an extent the extra budget that I may have been given for this. As I said, there are new areas and stuff, but one, I do not care that much about the answer. It should have just been with a base game. If it was a less substantial expansion, that's fine. I don't care. It's not worth it, I promise, especially knowing how this one turned out. And then
I think it's probably for the best so that DLC does well because it'll push Atlas to do more. Like if they do more expensive DLC, I actually won't mind that though, because like P6 gonna get expensive DLC, like story content. It's actually like probably pretty good. Like I mean, the quality.
I am fine with expansive DLC. I'm not against DLC, and I'm not even against DLC at this price necessarily. But this was not worth it at all. This was awful. And if this is going to push Atlas into thinking this is okay, and they're going to do more things like this, knowing it will sell just like this one did, that's not a good thing. Like, this was dog shit. This is, I think, the worst DLC Atlas has ever done. P3R in general was pretty embarrassing with DLC, considering they did a premium edition and then an expansion pass right after. Like, this shit was trash. And I'm not necessarily happy it sold very well, because it means that we might get more things like it. I'll keep a positive outlook for P4R. Maybe we'll get an expansion pass with really good shit, but I'm
what
not.
What your ideal expansion pass look like?
Super happy. I don't know, actually, because they'd want to do something substantial. Like, obviously, this one barely had anything substantial, but at least it had Episode Igus. When it comes to P4R, there's nothing you can really resell there. I mean, if they want to be really funny, they could do the Marie arc, but I don't think that's really possible the way it currently is. I'd have to rework the game pretty heavily, and how Marie is introduced. I mean, it would be pretty hilarious, admittedly, to keep all her story scenes and social link in the game just for her dungeon to be lined or something. But I don't know. That's barely even possible.
Episode Igus is done like that because it's not directly connected to the main game, and Marie is. There's just no reality.
I don't think they will. But that begs the question then what will they do? If they can't resell something, another guess would be something comparable to Episode Igus, but new and original. People are saying Episode Adachi, which would be admittedly pretty funny. An interesting concept, at least.
Yeah.
People were saying they could introduce the spin-off characters, whether Labris or that one girl from the anime. Or people are just saying they want her in the main story, but...
That's like episode or something, yeah.
There's, I don't know. I would be shocked if we get something like Episode Igus, like before P4. I don't think that's going to be the case. My guess, if I had to guess...
I'm thinking challenge battles.
That's it, though, for an expansion. Let's assume it's going to be $35 again. Really? $35 challenge? The P4I5R ones were like $7.
Challenge battles, maybe like in waves, they can add like more and more as with time, or maybe costumes. BGM is going to be given, I think.
Oh, no, we shouldn't do these as waves again. No, these shouldn't be. BGM should be like a $2 DLC at most. They should not be in an expansion pass.
I think the only reason why reloads is because $35, all of that went to Episode Igus. The other stuff is just them throwing it in to make it seem...
Yes, I agree. Obviously, yes.
Like,
obviously, what the expansion pass was... We have Episode Igus, we want to do a DLC, but Sega also really wants to do expansion passes. Here's our compromise. We'll do Episode Igus in an expansion pass, and we'll fill the rest of the pass with dog shit nobody cares about, and that was what it was, yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to... I think something... So, if I'm looking at the two fundamental issues of this expansion pass, it's one, that the answer isn't good, and then two, that the answer wasn't worth expanding upon in this, like, method. I think it should have been in the base game, even if it were less big than how it appears here, because it would have been a lower budget, because it would have been using the budget from the main game, rather than a totally separate budget based on what this DLC's profit was going to be, which is apparently very good. I would have been fine with that, because I don't think... Episode Igus needed that extra money or that extra care or that extra thing. We have this version of it, so I can tell you that I do not think it was worth it, for the reasons I explained earlier. So my two big issues would be that this wasn't something worth doing in an expansion pass, and then two, that Wave 1 and 2 are completely worthless. My best guess, like just off the top of my head on how to fix something like this, would be 3 smaller stories in different waves. Wave 1, and this would actually, by the way, because the point of this expansion pass, if you didn't know, is Sega wants to make their games kind of, live service games are very good. P5X and shit like that are very good because people are always coming back to your game, maybe every day. Single-player games are not like that. There are obvious drop-offs when the game releases, after people beat the game. They don't come back to it, most of them, right? Which makes sense. They want people to come back to them in forms of these DLCs. However, who the fuck was coming back to Persona 3 Reload to fuck with the Persona 5 Royal EXP BGM set? Zero human beings. Zero. Anyone who did was mentally ill, okay?
I actually think if they did, like, as a part of it, they did, like, a series of challenges, I honestly think that would have been much more justifiable. Like, as a part of everything.
Something.
So I get all the costumes.
Yeah, fine, just put, honestly, Joker being his own wave as a challenge battle would have been more fucking better than this. And then, Wave 2, Velvet costume and BGM set. Again, if you came back for this, okay, there's something wrong with you, okay? You don't need Persona, you need therapy, okay? Then, this one made sense to come back to. My solution to this would be 3 smaller stories that you could release Wave 1, Wave 2, Wave 3, right? So, these don't have to be episode August here. They don't have to be that expensive, but they can be like smaller little things. Maybe they have... Think, fuck, nobody's gonna know this because not that many people played Eternal Punishment PSP. If you guys know what the Tatsuya scenario is, okay? There are literally 3 waves of this, okay? And they are a scenario that takes place during the main game. And it shows you what Tatsuya is doing during it. Tatsuya was the protagonist of Innocent Sin. He's kind of a party member in Eternal Punishment, but not really. For a majority of the game, he is not with the main party. He is off doing his own thing. This Tatsuya scenario shows you what he's doing. And I would argue it is just as good, if not better, than the main game. I love the Tatsuya scenario. It's really fucking good. Showing something... of what characters are doing during it, whether either centering around one character for all 3 waves or different characters, would be a good idea. Adachi's the easy one because we don't see what he's doing most of the game, obviously.
Yeah, that'd be a good
and
one.
then
You
having
could
it
absolutely, like post like add shit to like what he's like I don't know, like just put him like some shit doing the TV or like setting up the murders or something.
and
That
it's
could
like
be
a
pretty
post-game
interesting, you know?
content, like you unlock it after you beat the game, and then you can do it like
That could be
afterward,
great.
and then
That'd be really good.
or like something like, or you could even do like other characters if you want, going in for, you can think of some reason they might go into dungeons on their own or something. I'm thinking there might be reasons you might not as well. But my point is that, like, something like that, I would come back for each wave. I'd be like, oh shit, episode 1 is out. Let's go check that out. Oh, episode 2 is out. That fixes this expansion pass problem. And I'm so ready, by the way. I'm so ready, okay? All you motherfuckers, all right? I'm ready for everybody to steal this take, and now everyone's going to have this opinion on what they should do for the expansion pass. I thought of this. Don't forget this, okay?
Okay, Strain, we get it.
All right, fuck. Everyone steals my takes because I'm just so based. Oh my god.
Calm the fuck down, Screenman.
Okay, but
Relax.
this fixes the problem, and it's like actually like a cool thing. This is worth like money. Like this is actually worth something. So that's my idea. I'm ready for Atlas to steal it, or just do BGM sets again. One of the 2. Yeah.
I think my ideal thing would be if they want to do what they've been doing more in line with what's expected, not like what you said. I think one big story thing, maybe, it doesn't have to be just one, it could be more, but one big story thing at least. Not one costume, but maybe at least a fucking set or something, like a lot of costumes, like a lot of new ones. You can even do that to add soundtrack, and obviously soundtrack, and challenge battles. And I mean substantive challenge battles, like a lot, like Persona 5 Royal level of challenge battles, and probably more. I think that if you put that at the same price point as episode I, guess $35, and it had all that in it, I don't think people would complain.
So hold on. What's all the content in your version? Challenge battles, and then BGM sets, and then outfits.
Ways of challenge battles, like, and I mean like a shitload of challenge battles, like a lot.
I don't think only challenge battles being the most substantive thing there is worth $35.
Well,
that's
not the only thing. I mean, I think the main story would be the most substantive, like the extra story would be the most substantive thing.
Oh, so you're saying like something like an episode of Dachi, for example?
Yeah,
something...
like an episode of Dachi, whatever.
Okay.
Something analogous to episode of Igus, plus the challenge battles, and a shitload of costumes.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. So what's wave 1? You tell me.
Wave 1 would be challenge battles.
Okay. Not honestly something I think too many people would come back for is a problem. These are things probably better suited for a main game release, like a main game DLC, but... I mean, I can't complain about challenge battles being one wave if the other ways are good. Challenge battles are alright.
You play Kingdom Hearts 3, right?
Yep.
Fuck. Wait, did you play Remind?
No, but I know what Remind is. But Remind is more
There's, like,
expansive than just challenge battles.
No, it is, but it adds the data organization fights. Like they're like
Yeah.
special like
I'm
superpowered
aware, yeah.
bosses
I've seen
in
it.
the main game. Yeah. Like I mean like something like that is added like to post game content as DLC like that.
Yeah,
is
but
part
like
of the
how many
first
people
wave.
are returning to the game just for that?
I think more than what episode I guess was, or sorry, the wave system for Reload was.
I mean,
didn't know that
obviously, yeah, more
before.
people are going to return to that than the BGM set for sure. But I think challenge battles are something that probably appeal to already like the biggest of fans. I don't know how many people are going to come back just for something like that in a wave.
Okay, what if it was like made like those challenge battles were part of a teaser for an actual story campaign that would come later down the road? What about that? Like it's slight, like they're mainly gameplay, but they tease a story.
That would be
Like a little bit.
better, but I'm not necessarily opposed to challenge battles being like one wave, for example. If the other waves are substantive enough, like challenge battles are something I can't complain about. I just don't know if they work for something like an expansion pass is all. Like I think they work better as their own DLC, probably on game release. I mean, the hope would be that they don't even have to be DLC, but I guess we're past that. But yeah. But okay. What's wave 2 look like then?
Wave 2. Fuck. I guess it's you're seeing 3 waves like episode like Reload's extension pass. Yes.
Yeah, like 3 waves.
Even more challenge battles and a shitload of costumes and new soundtrack. I think.
New soundtrack. Wait, what's that entail?
Like, how do I put this? You know how like Vengeance like adds a shitload of battle themes?
Yep.
Like what if the challenge battles like had like soundtracks like that were like I don't know. Let's say like the new scenario, like whatever new DLC, this expansive story had it like original soundtrack for it. Like what if like you had like some of that soundtrack put into challenge battles, right, or something like that, right? Like what if they were like high production, like a series of high production challenge battles that tease the story further for an expansion pass that would come in the third wave.
I mean, I don't know how much of a selling point that is as a soundtrack then if they're teasers for like something else, but I mean,
well,
like
you'd be bringing back players because you know it's gonna like be like it's like directly continuing to something huge, right? Like the actual big final thing of the expansion.
Sure,
pass.
but again, if it's just teasers, my issue is especially in modern day where everyone's kind of online, people are probably just gonna be like, well, yeah, call me when the actual thing comes, you know. Like I can read a teaser on Twitter, you know, and it might be more effective there. So I
feel like, I mean, sure, you can always do that, but I feel like I think as as people who already bought the game and who are interested in DLC for the game.
Well, again, you have to sell them on the DLC too.
Sure, but I think that'd be a much easier buy than what Reload did.
Again, I don't dispute this is better than Reloads because Reloads is bottom of the barrel dog shit. I don't know how this got fucking okay. I mean, this was clearly done because Sega needed an expansion pass and they didn't know what the fuck to do. So they probably I wouldn't even be surprised if EX actually. Hold on, I know this is true. EX BGM set and P4G EX BGM set were in the game's files on release. Yeah, those weren't even like added with the expansion pass. Those are already in the game's file. I wouldn't be shocked if that and the Velvet costume and BGM set were things that were planned for the main game and then put off to an expansion pass because they needed 2 more waves. Like,
wasn't there even more like in the files? Like they had like an item set or something.
They did, and that just got scrapped entirely, which was probably for the better because those DLCs are stupid.
Yeah.
My guess would have been it would have been a pre-order bonus. Instead, the pre-order bonus was the P4 BGM set, which was stupid, but. But
I don't like putting game soundtrack in there.
Yeah, I mean this is definitely better than Reloads, but I just like looking at it as an expansion pass with the goal of almost being like a live service game, and bringing people back all the time. I don't know how many people challenge battles are just gonna bring back. I feel they appeal to people like us for sure. Bring me back, bring you back, maybe bring the people watching this podcast back. But like the average player, I don't know.
Especially with Persona as a series that is primarily has a fan base that really prioritizes the narrative. I feel like, yeah, I guess I see what you're saying. I don't know if it would do as well as like if they just did what you mentioned, like another scenario that is like direct delivered to you like through pieces, right?
Yeah, like it doesn't have to be expansive as episode. I guess just like 3 like solid things. Like do something like Tatsuya scenario, which you've already done for a re-release, and for I guess that game's technically a remake, and that was really well done. Just something like that is like really like I like Tatsuya scenario so much. I almost wish it wasn't like extra content. You had to access to the Velvet Room, and it was in the main game. Like it is like seeing that alternate perspective makes the story more interesting. You have the ability to do this again and make the story more interesting again by giving us an alternate perspective. This is like very much within the realm of possibility. Yeah, and I think it works with the expansion pass kind of format. Like, people will be talking about this. People will be talking about the things that happen in each wave. People will be like, "Hey, did you see what Adachi fucked your mom in wave 1? Oh my god, that's crazy, right?"
Yeah,
like,
sure,
this is shit that people will look forward to, maybe more than the main game, because the main game is full of a story they already know.
Yeah, I think like a lot of the benefits of a Persona 4 remake actually are a lot in the things that they can add, especially through DLC. I feel
Yeah.
like that's a good way to bring back people who are on the fence about it's just I don't know, if it's justified or not. That would be a good way to bring them over, right? Of course, yeah, sure. It has benefits beyond just player retention, which shouldn't even really matter in a fucking single player game. But like, companies look at these statistics,
Yeah,
obviously.
but like, again, when people start seeing people posting shit from a new Persona 4 story, okay? People will be like, I want to fucking play. I love Persona 4. I want to play. I want to see what the fuck's here. I'm gonna buy that $35 fucking expansion pass, you know? God, fuck, I'm
Yeah.
so angry. Atlas is gonna steal this idea for like a different remake, and then they're not gonna pay me for it. Just like how they stole Tartarus Conversations for me and everything else.
God.
They steal it all!
Well, we'll see soon enough. I mean, we're gonna see P4 make. What if the remake's a completely different screen and they don't even need to do a new story? Like, what if the entire game's a new story? They won't.
They won't do
What
that.
if
That
they
won't
did?
be. It's gonna
What
be
if
like
they
Reload.
did?
It's not gonna be like that. I honestly, the expansion pass for Persona 4 Reload. I'm gonna say all this. Persona 4 remake, whatever. Like, I'm gonna say all this, and it's gonna be like, Isugami Gym, BGM and Velvet outfit set. Like, you know, like, we're fucked. Yeah, I don't. I'd be shocked if they do anything like what I'm saying. But what I am saying is probably the best way you can go about it.
Sure, yeah, I agree.
And again, it'll probably require less work than it took them to remake the dog shit that is episode I guess, okay?
8th episode, I guess.
Put that $35 expansion pass. Go! Use that fucking money. Go! You're gonna make a profit with this. I promise you you'll make a profit. I'm promising you. Right now you'll make a profit. Fuck. Give me... When am I running Atlas? Fuck a partnership program. When are they fucking putting me as the new CEO?
I think social links. The true end goal is not world domination; it's Atlas domination.
It is.
Okay?
It is Atlas domination. I hope they're listening to this, okay? Somebody, get me up there, okay? I don't know shit about business, but I can learn, alright? Get me in there. Get me in head of creative so they can pay me $12. I'm kidding. I don't know how Atlas pays their employees. But creative
Probably
guys
pretty well.
always get fucked.
Creative, as far as like on the advertising side, creative usually makes a lot of money in that respect.
On advertising?
Yeah.
I don't know how much marketing guys make. Maybe. I know just a lot of money goes towards marketing. I don't know how much of that is compensation for employees, but maybe. Anyways, yeah, so now that we've just solved Persona 4 Remake, we've just completely obliterated P5X with facts and logic.
If you take anything, one thing from this episode, you listening right now, do not
Buy
play
Raito!
Persona 5 the Phantom X.
Don't play
Buy
P5X.
Raito. Do not play P5X. We'll play P5X.
Only
before
buy
you.
P4R's expansion pass if they do what I said. Okay? That's what I'm... These are the marching orders, okay?
Buy Raito. Buy P4R expansion pass if it's good. Do not play Persona 5 the Phantom X.
And subscribe to Screamins on
Follow the
Twitch.
Twitter.
Use that money you didn't use on the Persona 3 expansion pass, okay? To sub to fucking Screamins. That's also part of the plan. And then go
also, if you like
follow
to sub to,
IncompetentC.
to
And go sub to him.
Sub to IncompetentC as well. Yeah,
Sub to me
I
first.
play games. Well, you know, you can sub to either one of us. Right? It doesn't really matter. You can spend your money either way. Your choice, you know.
They could, but if I want to spend it well, they spend it on me.
If they want to spend it in a place that they will go further, they probably should give it to me.
I feel like if they wanted to spend it in a place where, like, it would feel like it's worth it, though, they'd spend it on me.
You know, I feel like they just wanted to give it to like a person who's like, you know, morally upstanding and a good man. I think, you know, there's a place they can.
I feel like if they wanted to give it to somebody who's morally ambiguous and is a chaotic good, they would give it to me.
I feel like they want to give it to someone who's like really funny and really likable and like everyone talks about all the time in a good way. They know what to give it to.
You know what? You're right. I feel like if they wanted to donate to Adolf Hitler, they would give it to you.
That's just not even true.
It would be
buddy,
like
come on.
donating to the Third Reich, I would think.
I don't think that. I think if you're donating to the third bike, because we're moving.
Like Yosuke, he's on bikes.
Yeah, he loves bikes.
Yeah.
You think they're gonna rewrite the what the fuck are we saying? You think they're gonna rewrite some of that Yosuke dialogue in the remake?
That's a good question, actually. I never thought about that.
I thought about because they rewrote some of episode I guess it wouldn't surprise me if they rework some of that. I don't think they'll rework Naruto because you only have a problem with Naruto if you're misreading the story. But like the Yosuke
True.
stuff is like pretty
And
grounded in
based.
time. I feel like Yosuke is Yosuke would probably be changed a bit. I wouldn't surprise me.
It depends. I always thought, okay, there are two wolves inside me right now. Okay, like I think a lot of like the Yosuke stuff is demonized a little too hard. I think there are elements of it that like you can work on. It just doesn't. I don't. If they are working towards a cohesive arc of Yosuke, kind of just being less of a dick to his friends more than anything. I don't even know how much of it spawns from homophobia as much as it does like insecurity.
Well, I mean, it kind of does, but like it's like of the time, obviously, and it's also like given the.
Well, like, because here's the thing: I'm fine with those lines in general. Like, if he wants to be like kind of homophobic and he wants to say the same, like that's fine. I think the issue is when this isn't clear in like a consistent arc. Like, I never really interpreted Yosuke as, like, a homophobic guy as much as I did, like, a very insecure guy. Like, ignoring the kanji stuff for a second, he fights a lot with people. He's upset when he can't pick up girls, right? He's, like, a very insecure person to me. But I think part of his story is kind of learning that, although I don't know how well that gets across, even to me. And I just wish that would be made more clear. I'm fine if he wants to do all that and say all that, but I think it should be in a very cohesive arc, and I think P4 has trouble sometimes making this arc clear. I think that would be the optimal one. However, they could just ditch it, like you said. I think that would be for the worst, though.
I think the ideal would be if it could all have a lot of payoff if they unironically bring back the Yosuke romance. I mean, if it recontextualizes it a lot, it's just internalized like insecurity and fear and all that. If you're able to romance the guy, I think
sure.
Like
I don't know. People always point to it being Yosuke only, though. My guess, and this has always just been a guess, I don't have anything to back this up. My guess was that they were going to make all male party members romanceable and then just ditch it, and Yosuke was the first one worked on. That being said, I do not see that being restored in a remake. Probably it's going to be more faithful to how the game came out. But
we just figured out the DLC. Male romances. That's one of the wave screens. Oh my god, we're fucking so smart. Holy shit.
At this point, you know what? Fuck it. That would bring people back.
That absolutely would. I mean, they can date like Kanji, Tatsumi. They absolutely would go in on that, man.
Not as much as my idea, but it would be not bad. Although it would be pretty shitty to lock behind DLC.
No, I think they're gonna do it. It's not gonna be DLC, and I think it's just gonna be Yosuke. I don't think it'd be every guy.
But
and also, I think a lot of P4 remake shit they can do like some of the anime shit. Like they add that like really odd tension between Yosuke and Narukami in the anime to a certain extent.
Yeah. Somebody said, I mean, rewriting Yukari is also an issue of misunderstanding the story. I don't know if Yukari is characterized any different. Well, no, sorry. No, that's not true. I don't know if Yukari's character's motivations are any different in episode I guess. Like, she's
it's just the way
definitely
it comes out.
Yeah, it's like the characterization of it. She is definitely less mean-spirited, which, by the way, you want to hear my hot episode I guess take? I think that could have worked. One of my issues is that I don't think these ideas are explored that well. Something that would have made Yukari a little less lashing out and like more willing to discuss or whatnot could have worked, but unfortunately that second part just doesn't happen. They just rewrote it and that was it. So it just stayed even more. Now it's even more uninteresting. But I think yeah, but I don't think they like misunderstood the story. I think it was just like a conscious decision to like downplay like those elements of like her her anger basically.
Yeah,
it's not just limited to Yukari, by the way. Other lines also come off less confrontational. There's a comparison some guy did on Reddit that was really good, but I'm not gonna be able to find it. But yeah.
I don't think Naruto's gonna be written.
No, and if Naruto's rewritten, it's fucking stupid.
That's really dumb. And no, because her arc is never about like. I feel like you can maybe change some of the dialogue to be less. That'd ruin the point. No,
Well,
I don't think they should change it.
I've never seen what the issue has been, besides if you're just super misinterpreting what the game's trying to say. I think if you view it through a lens which it's not trying to... There are better arguments against the Naruto arc, and none of them are, like, have anything to do with, like, a trans, like, debate or whatever. I've argued against them before, but, I've argued against people who said, like, in the Valentine's Day arc and shit, like, her Valentine's Day romance and shit, that,
Yeah.
she's very reliant still on Narukami or whatever, but I think the way I've counter-argued that, because this is a good point, because it kind of looks like, oh, well, maybe her character arc didn't really matter that much, but if you read all the options to her things, the line people always use of example of that, if you go through and look at all the different dialogue options, fuck, I'm forgetting what the things were now, but
It's been a while since I replayed P4, so I'm not going to add much to the conversation in this respect.
if you go through it, it's not that she's not progressing as a character. It's that she's not fully confident in herself yet, and she's kind of using the protagonist as someone she can trust to kind of be that stepping stone, I guess, to get to that point.
Sure.
Is more what they're going for. Yeah, this was an argument I had with someone who did a pretty good job arguing the anti-P4 side of things, but yeah, that was my counter argument. I think it was pretty good, but I won't get into the whole thing because it's not relevant to this episode, really. But the P4 debates, they'll start again after reload or after remake for sure. They will come back.
Especially if there's rewrites at all in any capacity of literally anything, there will be debates. Yeah, that's just how it is with remakes, so in general, I think. But especially P4, it kind of.
I'm gonna have to see. Again, people are gonna post kanji saying it's not a matter of liking chicks or dudes or whatever the fuck, and then people will be like, "Oh my god, they are racist!" Again, I'm gonna have to see all of it.
Yeah. Man, Kanji is such a good character too. I love his arc in that game.
Kanji is like my favorite character in that game. To an extent, I think it's very relatable.
No, I agree 100%. I think it's really, weirdly enough, it still feels relevant today. Like that feeling of, especially like with
a lot of it is
fucking like Rise, like these super like alpha male centric like creators and shit. Like a lot of young men do have that feeling of insecurity about like their man, and I think it's a thing that's never really gonna go away. I think Kanji's a really like valuable like thing, like a valuable arc to receive a message from at that age, you know?
I mean, even the Naruto stuff with like the difference in kind of female and male workplaces and whatnot, and how that can kind of make, in that case, but probably more predominantly so, like female workers kind of not have a place in certain workplaces, you know?
Yeah,
and that's still relevant today, even if we've made some progress. Like that's still a thing or whatnot, and then that kind of internal struggle of like, well, fuck. And this is why, by the way, Naoto isn't trans, is because it's not a matter of feeling like she is like a man or whatever. It's a feeling of she just wishes she was born one, so she wouldn't have to be discriminated against. You know?
Validation. She wants like that actual like the same respect that a man.
It's not like she actually wants to be. That's the big difference there. Yeah.
And like, I like Yukiko's as well. Like the whole idea, like her problems wouldn't just get solved just by leaving the inn and shit. Like I think that's a pretty interesting angle too. It's like a subversion of expectations, right? Because you'd expect like they really are chaining her down and shit, but the idea is more like becoming an adult and becoming more of your own person is not really tied to where you are or who you're with. Like just leaving where you are currently won't make you feel free or make you an adult. You know, there's more to it than that. And P4 is like good social links, good arcs. I like that game.
I like P4. Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. What did you just say?
I like P4. I like it just not as much as P3 and 5. I'll always say that. And the dungeons suck fucking ass, and like playing the game sucks. But I like the narrative.
You like Persona 4?
Yeah, I do. I'm tired of pretending like I don't.
Finally admitted it.
It's not as much 3 or 5 though. My backlog has always been public. You can look at my score.
Oh my god. What's your favorite part about P4?
I think I like probably the party member social links. Like that's like probably its biggest highlight, I think.
Huh.
compared to other games. Not to say that the other ones are slouches. I like 5s a lot too. It's not an easy decision to make.
You know what I like about P4 the most?
I like Akechi's a lot.
You know what my favorite part of Persona 4 is?
What?
The homophobia.
Feeling no pressure but appears in the media. Better stop treating me small or medium. I'm extra large, baby, taking premium. About that time you believe in me. Yeah, I'ma lay it down, grabbing that crown. Lay dollars on the ground, gonna double up now. 65, 4, 3, 2, one more time. Heavy punchline about to prove. Lay low, lay high, lay low, lay high. Clear your heads now, watch a peek. Let me go and prove my worth, let me earn it. Gonna pass this test and get me a permit. Watch how I do, sit down, observe it. Fires in my soul, uncontrollable burn. Look at me then, look at me now. Correct your bones to rule the crew, make you bow now. Class one to opponents to see. Blow, kiss, goodbye while they scream and shriek.